Hi there, welcome to the Fiber Nymph Dye Works channel. My name is Lisa, also known as Fiber Nymph, and today is Saturday, October 19th. It is a lovely fall day here in the mountain house, in the mountains. I am in the mountains of southwestern Pennsylvania if you're new here. And if you are new here, welcome. Thank you for checking the channel out. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming on back. I know it's been a minute. It's been almost a month since I recorded. That was not an intentional break. It's just been a very, very busy period of time. Holiday countdown collections are set to ship 3 weeks from yesterday. And so it's always a very busy time of year for me leading up to that. And this year is no exception. This weekend actually is a very heavy-duty work weekend for me because my husband is out of town. This is his annual paddling weekend that he goes on pretty much every year. I sometimes go with him. I haven't in a few years. Again, busy because of holiday countdown collections. But yeah, he's gone and he won't be home for a few days. So I can just do all the work and stay up late and get up early and not have to worry about bothering him at all in the midst of that. So it's always a very productive weekend for me. But I did want to get a video out because I haven't talked to you guys in a while and I have a lot to talk about. So I'm going to jump into that. Normally, I would say at this point, you will find show notes in the drop-down menu in the description box below this video, but I would be lying if I said that this time because you're not going to find much in the way of show notes. I usually try to provide, links to all my projects and project pages on 2 different websites. I have not had time to do that. I just can't this time. So I apologize for that. I will say most of my project pages on Ravelry are up to date. The project pages that I do on my personal project blog called My Favorite Day, those are definitely not up to date. I will try to get them up to date, and I will try to maybe retroactively add show notes at a later time. I just know it's not going to happen today. I just want to get this video up before any more time lapses in us talking. At any rate, there is a Ravelry group for the podcast, Fiber Nymph Dye Works, and for my business. It's both. And then there's my business website, fibernymphdyworks.com. You can find all the fun things there. I am going to highlight just a few things that are in the shop right now. Number one, it's still the pre-orders for my 2024 Suicide Prevention Fundraiser colorway, This Day We Fight. This is still in the shop through the end of October. It is a pre-order. I have it in self-striping. I have mini skein sets. I have project sets of different sizes, and there's fiber options. And just this week, I ended up adding another item which hadn't previously been there, and these are not pre-orders. These are in stock only while supplies last. I had a small event that I went to last weekend to vend very close to my house just for a couple of hours, a little pop-up table. It wasn't even like a full booth setup, but they had asked if I could bring some products related to this colorway, and so I did, and I put together these kits which are for my Fluffy Hearts pattern. You might remember I came out with this pattern February of 2023. The pattern itself is still on my website in the shop, and it remains a fundraiser colorway or a fundraiser item. I always donate the profits from this pattern anytime it sells, either there or on Ravelry, to Canines for Warriors, which is an organization that works to end suicide among the veteran population. So that always gets donated. But I did it when I first came out with the pattern, I had kits. I haven't had kits in a long time, but I did put some together, and I'm really excited because my supplier now does 20-gram mini skeins of the kid mohair silk yarn, so I don't have to wind them by hand, but they are 20-gram minis, and so of a lace weight you get a lot of yardage. So these kits give you 20 grams of the lace weight and 2 20-gram minis of the fingering weight that you hold together to make the little heart. So instead of my old kits, which you would get 2 hearts out of, these kits you will get at least 4 hearts per fingering weight mini. at least, if you knit them according to the pattern. So the kit includes all of the yarn you need. It does include a pattern download. If you buy it on my website, which obviously you are because we're not in person, but because I was doing this at an in-person event, I did actually print out the pattern and put it in there too. So you will get a paper pattern. There are a small number of these in the shop. When they're gone, they're gone. I'm not going to dye anymore. Sorry, my throat's tickly. But instead of just a $5 donation per purchase, these are a $10 donation because it involves both the pattern that is already a donation item as well as the yarn. So I doubled the donation. Most of the other fundraiser items are $5 from the sale of each item will be donated to the 3 different organizations that I'm using for this fundraiser this time. I'll be donating, all the money will get divided between these 3 organizations: Canines for Warriors, the Trevor Project, which works with LGBTQIA+ population, and CHAD, children and adults with ADHD. Those are all 3 populations that are at higher risk for suicide. So those are the ones we're supporting this time. And if you have purchased anything, thank you so much. If you have purchased any of these fundraiser items, all except for like the last order or 2 have shipped. Like I just got an order, I know, overnight, so obviously that one hasn't been dyed and shipped, but everything else has dyed, it's been shipped, has been dyed, has shipped. So you either already have it or it's on its way. So I'm very happy about that. I love it when I'm up to date on my dyed orders. But anyway, here's all the little hearts. I love these little hearts. They're so much fun. So that's what they look like. Okay, so those are in the shop. A couple of other things I do have in the shop that are new are sort of clearancey items, but I put them together in fun little like grab baggy sets. One of them is just 3 little minis, so you can get these. I have called these Good Things Come in Threes. They are available. There's some fingering weight and there's a bunch of DK weight ones in the shop right now. You'll just get whatever 3 colors I send you. So again, grab bags are really good if you are cool with surprises and pretty flexible in your color choices, but you know, these are discounted 30% off retail. These DK weight grab bags, I have to think about how to say this right. Actually, they're not just DK weight. They're semi-solid grab bags. Most of them are DK weight. There are a few fingering weight ones left, though. And they're on a few different bases. So this is the Confetti Merino DK Tweed. Confetti Tweed Merino DK. That's the right order. So you'll get 3 semi-solid skeins. I tried to put them together in color families that will like work together for a project. Just keeping in mind that I was limited by what colors I had. So some of them might take a little bit of thought. Like, really, Lisa, would you put those together? I probably would, because I put a lot of crazy colors together for things. But anyway, you can use them all in one project. You can use them for individual projects, whatever you want to do. But these are all marked 35% off retail. They are grab bags. And then these are mini skein sets. You might remember these because I used these as my prizes for the last time I did prizes for our make-along, the project pool make-along. And so the ones that were left are now in the shop. I'm calling them Color Palooza collections. I don't know, just because I needed a fun name to put in the listing. But anyway, they are, most of them have 11 minis in them, 20-gram minis, semi-solid colors, and most of them are all the same colors. There's a few that were like less, like fewer minis, like 9 and 10, and the listing does explain what the color differences is in those. These are also 30% off retail. So those are all on sale. Again, they're kind of clearancey things. I'm trying to get all of those semi-solids out of the shop and make some space for some new things eventually. So you can check those out. I think that is everything in the shop. Oh, announcement wise, also, the last episode I recorded, I told you there was going to be a part 2 that was going to be a recap of our vacation on the Isle of Man. I haven't obviously gotten that up yet. I have tried. I was trying to, because I recorded, like, I told the whole story of it, and then I was going to try to input pictures and video over top of what I had already talked about, and then put that up. However, because this was largely a motorcycle trip for us, a lot of the things I talked about, I don't have video of because I was busy riding motorcycle. I wasn't taking video. So that became very difficult, and I felt like I was just wasting a lot of time trying to make that work. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to put together like a slideshow for you with photos and videos, and I'll probably just add captions, and you can watch that if you're interested. Again, that's not going to happen super soon because I'm really busy, but I will get it up eventually. I apologize for it not being up already if you were interested in that, but it'll happen, just not right now because the first try of it did not work out at all. Okay, I think that's everything. We're going to get into projects because despite the fact that I've been really busy, I have done a lot of knitting and crocheting because I need something to keep my brain from exploding when I'm really anxious and stressed and busy. The thing is, I'm doing very easy projects, things that do not take any bandwidth at all for the most part. There's a couple exceptions, but yeah, most of them are pretty easy. I'm going to start with things that you did see in the last video. First project is my second broom riding hat. I showed you this last time, and I showed you the first one that I made, which I'd made for my daughter. She has that one now. The second one, however, I was running out of yarn at the crown. In fact, I think I was at the end of my yarn when you saw it, and I was debating what to do. I ended up just dyeing myself another half skein of this colorway. This is the Arise colorway from my fundraiser color, and finished it with that. And that was the best decision. It blended in really perfectly, and the hat is great. I'm happy with it. I have not actually worn it yet, but I'm looking forward to wearing it. So there it is. The color work motif is from a pattern called the Broom Riding Cowl, and this is all I have for show notes for me this week, and I don't have designers written on here, so that information is going to be showing up at the bottom of the screen for you. Anyway, yeah, I just took that motif off of the cowl and made it into a hat, and it worked out really good. I'm so happy with this. Super fun project. Okay, so that's finished. The other thing I finished were my Game for All Seasons shorty socks, which you did see last time. I did finish them. I can't find them to show them to you. I don't know what I did with them. Like, I have no idea where they're at. I've looked everywhere. I have a hunch they're either like in a project bag somewhere, or they're somewhere in my office just hiding. That's a possibility because I don't usually wear my socks until I show them to you. So I know I haven't worn them. They're not like in the laundry. But yeah, I don't know where they're at, but I think I have a picture, so I'll put that in here if there is a picture. I did finish them. That is my exclusive colorway for the 2024 Downseller Studio Pigskin Party this year. That is also in the shop as, I think I still have it up as a dyed order. I'll probably change that to like an in-stock as a delayed ship, like allow 7 days for shipping, because I do have a lot of that dyed. It's not reskeined though. It's not ready to go. Anyway, yeah, so that is a finished project. I just have no idea. And that was just my plain vanilla sock that I do 2x1 rib shorty sock with a heel flap and gusset. The other one that I have been working on is a pair of socks. My other sock project that's on the needles, I guess I should say, is this one. This is my new Christmas colorway for this year called Customary Christmas Pie. The 5 stripes represent 5 very unique Christmas, like holiday, winter customs from around the world that are just kind of different. You can read more about that in the shop description. But anyway, I did have the first sock finished. I don't remember if it was finished the last time you saw it. And again, this is my 2x1 rib. I do this for almost all of my socks unless I'm really following somebody's pattern for socks, or a pattern for socks. So anyway, first one is done. I do have the second one on the needles, and the only reason I haven't really been working on it a lot lately is because I need to count how many rows that I knit for the cuff before I started the heel flap, because since it's a pie colorway, I can't just count stripes because the stripes are not the same, since the striping pattern goes according to the digits in pie, and pie doesn't repeat. So anyway, I have to count so that I know when to stop and start my heel flap. That's the only thing that's keeping me from working on that right now. Just the ability to count. Actually, taking the time to count is more the issue. Okay, so those are things that you have seen before. It's very cold out here in the porch room, but I didn't turn the heat on because I'm being stubborn. And I'm warm. Oh, I didn't tell you what I'm wearing. This is my Simple Stripes pullover. The pattern is by Suvi Simola. I knit this, I don't know, a handful of years ago now. And the yarn I used was my Ridgetop fingering non-superwash base that I used to carry. I don't have it in the shop anymore. I'm not getting it milled for the shop. But I really liked it. And this is it's a lightweight sweater. It's a good sweater for this time of year because it's fingering weight, but it's warm. So anyway, that's what I'm wearing. And I just wanted to show you this real quick too. I've been playing with crochet, like little quick crochet things that I can basically make by watching. Oh, excuse me. I hope you didn't hear that. I can make by watching tutorial videos. And this was just this cute little pumpkin coaster. I think I don't even have a project page for this on Ravelry because I did it so fast and it didn't turn out perfectly right, but the pumpkins look super cute, right? This part's too floppy for what it was supposed to be, but I've been using it. I thought I was going to make a bunch of these and send them to friends and my mom as gifts, but that's so not happening at this point. Anyway, I think the person's name is Mushy, Mushyyy, I think is the content creator. She has so many really fun little crochet projects. Yeah, check her out if you can find. If I think about it, I'll try to link her YouTube channel below. But anyway, I don't even remember what this was called. Maybe just pumpkin coaster. These are puff stitches, which I really love doing puff stitches. They're super fun. But I was really happy with how that turned out, aside from the fact that this bottom is not as sturdy as it's supposed to be. But it works for me, so I've been using it. Okay, moving on to things you haven't seen. Again, I am participating in the Pigskin Party as well as being a sponsor of the Pigskin Party. And for whatever reason this year, points are really motivating me to do stuff. And not only that, I went and I pulled out all of my project bags and stitch markers that I own from sponsors already. I have purchased some more as well, which I'll probably show you as we go along here. This was a Jessa Lou bag that I've owned this bag for years, but Jessa Lou is a sponsor of the Pigskin Party. And so I'm like, I know I have some Jessa Lou bags. So I did pull them out. I really like this one. This is a Christmas TARDIS bag, or Christmas Doctor Who bag with the TARDIS on it. Anyway, so that has my Christmas sock in it. Yeah, so points. You get, if you're not familiar with the Pigskin Party, Jen from the Downseller Studio sponsors this every year. I am a Pro Shop sponsor for the event along with a bunch of other people. But anyway, you get extra points if you use items from the Pro Shop sponsors or Snack Shack sponsors. Exclusive items get you even more points. So anyway, for whatever reason, points are motivating me right now. That's not always the case for me, but it is this time, and I guess it's just where my brain's at right now. So anyway, I've been trying to use as many sponsor bags and stitch markers and patterns. I own a lot of patterns by designers who are sponsors for the event as well. And I'm allowed to use my own stuff. So I'm using a lot of my own yarn. And I decided I was going to revisit some of my own patterns, because this has been on my list of things to do anyway. I would like to revisit some of my older patterns and either update them or maybe make like additional items based on them, additional designs. So anyway, that's where this next couple of projects comes from. This is my pattern called Rambler. It is a cowl, obviously. I really love this cowl, and I haven't made one in quite a while, so I was happy to do this one. I like this size, although I really do want to play with it and try making like a double length one and seeing what it looks like, you know, wrapped twice. I made this out of some Mountain Tweed Merino DK in the Ember colorway. This was a lighter version of Ember though. Sometimes it dyes up darker than that. It's actually this color in this yarn. It looks kind of nice in this. I may actually just leave it on because again, it's chilly out here. So anyway, this is Rambler, super fun. It did not even take a full skein of yarn, I don't believe. I think I had some left over. And I don't really have a whole lot more to tell you about it. It is available on Ravelry for sure. I think it's also in my shop online. I'm pretty sure it's in the Fiber Nymph Dye Works shop as well. Not all of my patterns are in my shop currently, but they all are available on Ravelry. Okay, so Rambler cowl. Very happy with how that turned out. I need to take another sip. Sorry. I've been talking a lot because, again, I've started this so many times. When you don't record for almost a month, you forget how to do it. Okay. So the next one I did was another pattern of mine. And I did a couple of these. And neither of these are as the pattern is actually written. I was trying to do some modifications to try so that I can expand the pattern. And so this is my Twisty Goo pattern. I sort of regret naming the pattern Twisty Goo because it's such a weird name. But I named it that because at the time I designed it, I had been listening to a lot of Brian Regan comedy. And in one of his comedy bits, I think he's talking about donuts, and he refers to one as the Twisty Goo. And so I made this hat that has this great twisty spiral at the top, and I'm like, Twisty Goo. The things you do and then sort of regret later, but whatever. It's out there. And it's just a really fun spiral eyelet hat design. The original had like a textured motif going on between the eyelets. So I did this one in stockinette, and I really like how it turned out. It's a lot slouchier. Like the first one, but the original is not really slouchy at all unless you make it slouchy by making it oversized. It's quite grippy. I like how slouchy this one is though, and this is very comfy. I'm keeping this one for me and possibly for a sample. This is my DK weight, my Bonafide DK weight base, and this was just a serendipity colorway, so it's non-repeatable, but I really love all the colors in it, and I think it looked really fun with this pattern. So that was the first one I did, but then I had a lot of yarn left over because hats don't take a whole skein of yarn. Sorry, trying to find somewhere to put this. So I used the rest of it to make a small version. I thought I'd make like a child size. And I played with the stitch pattern again. I was trying to do another texture. It did not work out as I had planned. So this is not right. I am going to donate this one as like, you know, a charity donation. A nice little child's hat, and it's fun, bright colors. I'm sure some little kid will enjoy wearing it. And it looks fine. Like anybody else looking at it would be like, it looks fine. I know where it doesn't look fine. You know how it is. But yeah, so it's fine though. It's a little charity hat. So based on my Twisty Goo. So I will be not modifying, but adding to and expanding my Twisty Goo pattern at some point in time. So that was another project that I finished. Now we're going to get into projects that I've finished but aren't my patterns. You might remember I crocheted this earlier this year. Here, I'm going to take this one off. And I'm going to show you this. So this is a pattern called the Fair Weather Cowl by Jennifer Dickerson. She's known as Fiber Flux. And she's got a great YouTube channel. She does tons of tutorial videos for her patterns. A lot of them you just don't even have to buy the pattern. You can just crochet them based on the tutorial, which is what I usually do. I can't even see where I put this one together. I think it's here. Anyway, the pattern itself called for 2 skeins, 2 like 100-gram skeins of sport weight. This is my Traveler sport weight in the deep fall colorway. I only had a partial ball of 1. I had like, I don't know, maybe 95 grams, 90 grams, somewhere around there. So it made a shorter cowl. Her version, as it's designed, is longer and you can double it or just have a long cowl. But this one is perfect. I have worn this cowl so much this fall. Like I wear it on chilly days just around the house, especially if I'm wearing like this kind of a top, you know, a crew neck or V-neck or something where my neck's cold. And even though my hair's longer right now, my neck is still cold a lot lately. So yeah, I have been wearing this cowl kind of nonstop. But the other thing about it is I really enjoyed making it. It's a, what's it called? A box stitch? That might not be right. I don't know. It's a 2-row repeat, super easy because I'm not an overly experienced crocheter, but so easy. So, and it's also very mindless and very soothing to make. I find it very relaxing. So I had a ball of Lion Brand mandala in my stash, which is a big ball of yarn. I believe it's also DK weight. I think it's DK, not sport. It feels heavier. So I probably went up a hook size in this. I think I used a G or an E. I don't know. Again, it is on my Ravelry page. But anyway, I made this big one out of that whole ball of mandala. And now that I'm showing this to you, I feel like maybe I've shown this to you already. I don't think I have though, because I think I finished it after the last time I recorded. At any rate, here it is, and it's fun. I mean, this one's a charity donation. That will be going in my donation bag. That's another thing. Like you get special points or extra points for the special teams stuff on the Pigskin Party, and charity donations are one of the special teams things. So I've been making a lot of hats and things that are going to charity. So anyway, I like how this one fits, actually. I would like to make myself a long one because once winter hits and it's a little colder, having it doubled like this will be fun. I just love the drape of the fabric. It's so nice. I mean, this is largely acrylic yarn, I think, if not all acrylic. But it feels really nice. And the fabric that you get from this stitch is just, I don't know. I love it. I really enjoy making these. So anyway, that was one that I made. And then I made another one because I had, again, a partial ball of my Traveler base, which was what I made this one out of. I had even less though. This is my beach wedding colorway. This was the colorway I designed after Bill and I got married on the beach over 8 years ago now. But I had started, I mean, I know I knit a sample out of this, and then I also started, I think, a pair of socks that I never finished, and I ended up frogging them. And so I had this partial ball. So I knew it was less yarn than I had available for this one. So I made this one narrower by, I think, 6 stitches, because this is crocheted in increments of 3 plus 1. And so you can basically customize it however you want. But I did 6 fewer stitches on this, so it is narrower. It did end up being a little bit longer. I probably could have just decreased by 3 stitches, like, because this one I did 49 stitches. This one I did 43 stitches. I could have probably done 46 and had it be this length, but this is still a nice length. But it's also going to be a donation item. So anyway, really enjoying that pattern. Is it a block stitch? I want to say it's a B word. Block stitch or box stitch, one or the other. But it's super easy. And again, just I find it so soothing to do. Okay, I'm going to put this one back on because, again, my neck is cold. Of course, now I have stripes going this way and this way. I should probably put Rambler back on to not look quite so insane. Or is it too late for that? The hair alone looks insane. I haven't had time to do anything with my hair. My nails look horrible. Hopefully you're not noticing that, but not the priority right now. Okay, so I've told you about all of the cowls. I told you about the fluffy hearts. That was something that I worked on already, but you already saw those, so that's 2 of them. The other 2 are now buried under other things. Then I seem to be making a lot of the same thing here. I have a pattern from Cerce, who is Imagine Landscapes. You probably know her from all her gnome designs. I've never knit one of her gnomes, but I had purchased her Brimmish hat pattern quite a while ago now. And what Brimmish is a hat pattern that has, I think, 6 different brim stitch motif designs in it. And so you can choose whatever brim you want, and then it knits into like the rest of the pattern. Oh, sorry. For the body of the hat is the same. It's just like a stockinette hat. It's just the brim that is different, and you can just mix and match and do whatever you want. And so I've never knit any of those, and I thought that would be a really fun thing to do for the pigskin party, because Sarah is also a pigskin party sponsor, and I wanted to be making some charity hats because I have a couple different places that I want to send them this year. Sorry, something is in my eye that shouldn't be there right now, and I don't have contacts in at the moment, so it's not that. Anyway, I'll try to stop playing with my eye. I know that really grosses some people out. Sorry. Okay, so the first one I did is this one. And this is also my Mountain Tweed Merino DK in the Habanero colorway. And this was some leftovers. I have a big bin of DK weight leftovers. I think maybe I talked to you guys about it. If it wasn't you, it was one of the members' videos. I talked about different things I want to do with a whole lot of my leftovers. So if you're into those kind of projects, maybe, you know, join the membership for a month and watch that video, or a couple videos, whatever you want to do, or not. But this is one of the things I did with some leftover DK. And this rib is, or this brim was the broad spiral rib. So you can see it's a really nice little cable thing going on there that is in part of the rib. And it was really fun to do. I think I did 4 repeats of it, and then did the hat. And I tried to do this one pretty big so it could be a man's hat. I'm not entirely sure if a man would wear this. Would a man wear like a cabled rib? I don't know. I don't have a good point of reference for this because Bill wears a lot of weird stuff that maybe most guys wouldn't wear. So I don't have any idea. I did the pattern according to the directions though. I think I modified the height because you can either do a beanie, like a tight fit beanie, or a slouchy beanie. And I think I kind of did in between those two on this one. So that was the first one. And then I decided to do another brim because, again, there are 6 brim options. One of them is just a 1x1 rib, which I'm not going to do because I know how to do that. But I would like to do the other 5. So the second one is this one. And again, this was some leftovers. This is, excuse me, some of my Bonafide DK. This was in a gray that I don't dye anymore. And in fact, I had dyed this specifically to make a pair of mitts for myself that I never made. And so it's just been sitting around waiting to be used. So technically it wasn't really leftover because I never used it for anything, but it was sitting there unused for a long time in my bin. So this one, let's see if you can see that patterning. That is the embossed moss stitch. So I don't know how the best way is to there. You can kind of see that. The variegation in the yarn makes it a little difficult for you to see the patterning on the camera. I can see it much better in person. But anyway, I made this one the next size down. That other one I did the biggest size. This one's the second to largest size, and I did make it a little shorter. And again, I don't know if a man would want this. The one place I'm going to donate to, they were specifically asking for hats for men. That was like a need for them. So that was why I was sort of aiming for that. But anyway, so there's that one. And then I'm working on a third one. First, let me show you the bag. This is one of my new purchases. I got birthday money that I basically spent all on stuff from Pigskin Party sponsors. So, and this is one of them. So this is from Whimsy Stitches. I think I showed you one of the other Whimsy Stitches bags that I got had ghosts on it, but it has this great vinyl so you can see what's in your bag. I love these bags. The other one I got was a little bigger. This is, I think it was a medium one maybe, or large, I don't know. This is the smaller one, but I love it. And I love that it's got like the rainbow fabric on it. And I left this one tag on it because they do have, it says love always wins. And it says limited edition bag, Rainbow Pride series. This bag is a part of a limited series run of project bags created to show support and acceptance. A percentage of the purchase price will be donated towards LGBTQ plus rights for all. Thank you for your support and acceptance. Awesome. And Whimsy Stitches Designs. And I cannot remember. Let me see if the card is in the bottom here. And then there's also the project I'm going to show you. Nope, that's not it. Oh, and all the both of the bags that I purchased from them come with a little rainbow progress keeper. Oh, Rick. Okay, I can't pronounce the last name, and I'm really sorry, Rick. I don't know that Rick's watching, but if he is, Rick, I just dropped the stitch marker. Nazion. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but that is the maker behind Whimsy Stitches Designs. So awesome stuff. Thank you so much. And I'm going to pick up the stitch marker before I step on it and break it. Okay. And I'm just going to put it in there. Alrighty. So, here's the third hat that I'm making from the Brimmish pattern. It is in progress. I'm actually really close to being done. I'm on the crown decreases now. And this is some of my confetti tweed merino DK in the warm honey colorway. And this one is the little hourglass rib, which is sort of a cable, but not. There's things going on. It is an hourglass shape, if you can see that. It goes boop, boop, boop. So anyway, really fun. None of them are difficult, but they're different. They're unique. So there's two more in the pattern. There's a sailor's rib that I have not done yet. And then there's one called Stansfield number 10. Here, I'll show you the picture. That I'm not sure how well you can see that, but she has a picture of all the different rib options that you have in the pattern. So I guess there's 6, right? Did I say 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6, but one is the 1x1 rib that I'm not going to do because that's pretty basic. So I've done 3 of them, and I would like to do the other 2. So 2 more hats will definitely be coming. But that's been a lot of fun. And then another thing that they do in the Pigskin Party is a challenge. And the first quarter challenge, which is happening right now through the end of October, is to do something, a project that involves something that you've never done before. And so I chose to make the Cerce hat, C-E-R-C-E. And again, I'll put the designer name at the bottom here. There were 2 elements to this hat that I had never done. Number one, well, it's a brim that you knit around. I have done that before in another hat, but There was a stitch motif in there that was very different than anything I ever did. And here, I'll show it to you instead of just talking about it. That makes a lot of sense. I think I have random needles just sticking out of the project here. Okay, so I don't know what's going on. So, oh, that red really blew out. I'm not sure how well you can see that because of how it's blowing out. Anyway, so you're knitting the brim in this, well, actually in this direction. You're knitting the brim, and then you're making this fun little motif down the side. It's very interesting how you make it. It took me a while to figure out how to make it. Then it finally clicked. So that was one of my, okay, I've never done that before things. But then when you're done, you graft the two pieces together, the brim together. So you have basically it looks like a headband. And then you pick up stitches along one edge because it's a slip stitch edge. You pick up stitches and then you knit this lining for the inside, which I have never done that either. Now the pattern does recommend that you kind of lightly steam your brim to get it to lay flat before you do the picking up. And I did do that, although I think I over aggressively steamed it because it also grew width-wise, like circumference-wise. So I feel like, oh, it's going to be kind of big. I'm hoping when it's done, I can just throw it in the wash. It's superwash wool. Hoping I can throw it and let it dry and it'll be okay. Anyway, what I realized after I did my lining, and then you do like it's not really a bind off, but you knit your active stitch, your live stitch with a stitch from the other edge of the brim. When I got done doing that and then I started knitting up for the hat part, I realized I did not make that lining big enough. You can even see because both edges of the brim are curling in and they shouldn't be doing that. I just misjudged. It looked like it was long enough, but it wasn't. So I've paused on working on this because I know I need to now take the needles out, rip out the hat portion that I've done. And this heart motif is repeated in the body of the hat. So I get to do a whole lot more of those little motifs, which again, they're fun. They're a little fiddly, but they're fun. But yeah, I'm gonna have to take those needles out, rip the hat part out, then rip out that join, and then get my stitches back on the needles and knit more lining and then redo all that, which isn't going to be impossible. I don't think it'll be a problem. It's just going to take time and it's going to be fiddly. And again, I will refer you to the fact that I don't have either a lot of time or a lot of brain space right now. I think I have enough yarn. I'm pretty sure I will have enough yarn to finish this because once you're done with the brim, I mean, the hat, really, there's much less hat because this is a very wide brim and it's not a slouchy hat. I do have another skein of this yarn. This is my Bonafide Base DK in deep red, which is blowing out crazy on here. It's not nearly that bright red. It's not that orange. It's a much bluer red in person. Anyway, I have an extra skein of this in case I need it. I don't think I'm going to need it, but just in case, because I don't want to have that issue again. So that's that pattern. It's coming along. This bag, this is another pigskin party purchase. This is covered in cat hair by Huckleberry Girl, the Huckleberry Girl Handmade. Look how pretty these poppies are. I love poppies. Okay. I love the bag. The lining is super cute. Pretty little green check in there. But look at the pools. They're two different colors. Like, that's magic. To me, magic. Absolutely amazing. And I love it. It's so pretty. So, yeah. Thank you. I can't remember the maker's name, but thank you. I think it's an amazing bag. It's very roomy. I could definitely put multi-skein projects in there. So, all right. Cerce hat. That's everything except I did take a little bit of time yesterday morning as a treat to myself, and I did warp my loom. I will put a picture in here of what that looks like right now. You might remember, if you've been around for a while, probably, I'm going to say it's been a couple of years. I went through a lot of my leftovers. Speaking of my DK weight leftovers bin is sort of like the never emptying bin. Like, I get it emptied, or mostly emptied, and I think it's all used and gone or designated, and then I turn my back and look back and it's like, oh, it's overflowing again. So anyway, at one point I went through it and I gathered a lot of yarns together and put them in little bundles to do weaving projects. And then I set those bundles aside and thought, I'm going to do that sometime, and never got to them. So I decided I would like to start working on those. So that's what's on my loom right now. I am using my 24-inch loom. I'm only doing, the project is about 13 inches wide. I warped 13 inches, so I'll end up with like a 12-inch project because I want it's going to be a table mat. It's not going to be super long, just like a mat, not really even a runner. But I can own, my small loom is only 10 inches, which means I get a 9-inch, and I wanted something a little bit wider than that. So I warped with fingering weight, and then I'm doing the weft with DK, so it will be a weft facing fabric, and I'm having fun with it. I'm not really working on it much. Like I said, I warped it yesterday morning and got it started. I did sit for maybe a half hour this morning with my coffee and did a little bit more. It's not a hurry kind of project, but it's just something that I can use leftovers, which is one of my goals for my project pool make along. One of my big goals was to use leftover yarns. I didn't really talk much about the project pool, but it is still going on. That make along is running through the rest of the year. At the end of October, that will be the end of our 5th period, because I'm doing 2-month periods. So the first podcast that I do in November, I will announce winners for those for the September, October drawings. So there will be the chatter drawing, the finished object drawing, and the Instagram participation drawings. So never too late to join in. You can find all that information about that both in the Ravelry group. If Ravelry is not accessible to you, then you can find the information in the Fiber Nymph Dye Works blog on that website. Everything's linked below. That's always linked below, so you will find that information. But yeah, it's fun, and revisiting some of my patterns was also something that I wanted to do this year as part of design. I've been crap about designing this year. I have so many designs in progress. I just can't dye and design at the same time very well, which is why I don't get a lot of designs out. Next year, I think that's going to change. I really hope to change that, because I have, yeah, I'm planning to do more designing next year and modify how I do my dyeing. Which putting dye to order listings up in the shop is one of those things that's helping me get to being able to change the way I work, which will be a good thing in a lot of ways. And someday maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm not going to go into it a lot right this second. Anyway, I already told you about shop stuff. And again, if you have questions about anything I talked about today, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I am so sorry that yeah, I'm really sorry that I can't do show notes this time. Okay, I think that's everything, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get this processed and uploaded. I don't really have much life stuff to tell you, because right now my life is just dying and working and trying to get the holiday countdown stuff out. Bill and I did take the boat out a couple of different times. I did talk about that in one of the members' videos. The boat floats, it didn't sink, it's fine. But he winterized it now, because it's been getting, down to freezing at night, and you can't have water and stuff in it, in the engine, and, things break when they freeze. So the boat is winterized, the RV is winterized. I've canned tomatoes. I did get some tomatoes out of my garden that I was able to can, so that was very exciting. I've been digging tomatoes. I've been cutting lemongrass and mint to dry, so I have that for tea this year. So, you know, the garden was not a rousing success, but it also wasn't a dismal failure or a total failure. So there's, you know, a bright side. I still have potatoes to dig though. So I think the tomatoes are pretty much done at this point, especially since it's been getting so cold at night. Yeah, other than that, that's what's happening. I can't think of anything else exciting to tell you. I hope things are going well with you. I hope you're enjoying fall, especially if you are somewhere like here where we're just having beautiful color this year. And it hit all of a sudden. You know, last weekend I remember telling Bill, wow, it doesn't even look like we've really gotten into fall yet. And then like a couple days later, boom, color. So that's how it goes sometimes. Anyway, I will talk to you again. Hopefully it won't be a whole month passing, although it probably will be after I get the holiday countdown sets shipped out. So it'll probably be a few weeks before you hear from me again. And again, our Isle of Man review video, I will put that up eventually, but probably again not until after the holiday countdown sets are shipped. So I think that's everything. I'm gonna go. I haven't even eaten breakfast yet today. I'm super hungry, so I need to eat something. I will talk to you later. Have a great weekend. Love you guys. Bye.